Hi, I'm here with Jochen Maas, who runs R&D for Sanofi here in Germany.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking some time to chat.
it's a pleasure.
So, in your role in R&D for Sanofi here in Germany, how important is partnering to you?
Partnering, from my personal point of view, is one of the most important activities, not only for Sanofi, but for the whole pharmaceutical industry in the future. Look at the article in the Wall Street Journal. If I remember correctly, it was 2008 or 2009, when an article was published addressing that more than 90% of the innovations in the pharmaceutical sector do not come from the laboratories of big pharma, but coming from outside, from small biotech, from academia, from universities. And this we have to take into account. And if we now want to start with external innovation, we have to do it with partners, definitely. And we have to define in the whole value chain of the pharmaceutical business, where are the real experts? And I think there are areas where small biotechs, universities, non-university academic institutions are better than big pharma, but there are other areas where big pharma is better than those organizations. Let me give you two examples. At the beginning of the value chain, very early, if we discuss about new ideas, new targets, new innovative concepts, I personally think there is a clear advantage at small biotechs and at universities and non-university academic institutions. But already the next step, to translate an idea into a molecule, there is still the advantage at the pharmaceutical industry. We are better in this area than small biotechs, for example. And if we go along the value chain, particularly the last part, the clinical studies, there is clearly the advantage at the pharma industry. Why? There are two reasons for that. The first reason is it's our expertise since decades to discuss all these regulatory issues, all these regulatory questions with the FDA, with the EMA, with the PMDA, etc. And we are better in this area because a small biotech discussing directly with the FDA, this is often, not always, but often a disaster. And the second reason is even more trivial: money. Today, clinical development, particularly if you reach phase 3, costs 200, 300, 400 million euro. And this amount of money can be only used by big pharma. No biotech and no university will have the money to do a phase 3 study by itself. This has to be done in collaboration. And if you look at this situation, there are the real experts at the value chain in different areas. These cries for collaboration and for partnering, for the benefit of the big pharma industry, for the benefit of the universities, for the benefit of biotech companies, and last but not least, and this is the most important one, for the benefit of the patient.
And are you deploying this kind of philosophy to your own organization? I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
And so how early are you going and reaching into these different pockets of innovation and engaging them? And what is your sweet spot in that regard?
No, we try to do it as early as possible. I think particularly scientific collaborations should be done as addressed as early as possible in the value chain. But there are other collaborations also possible if a project is already present. If a project is already present at a small biotech, then we have to take it into consideration as well. But then we have to be aware that sometimes the business model of small biotech can be different from the business model of big pharma. Business model of big pharma is to bring a compound to the market. A reliable business model for a small biotech could be to sell the project as expensive as possible to big pharma. And therefore, the business plans can be different as well. I give you one example. You can do a project, or you can move a project forward up to phase 2 to the proof of concept only in male individuals. That's not a problem. This works. On the other hand, if it's an indication, which is a common indication like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, you cannot develop compounds only for males. And if such a compound is, for example, teratogenic, then it will never become a compound for the market. And we would do, as Big Pharma, a teratogenic study or teratogenicity study as early as possible, because this is a conditio sine qua non to move a project forward. But a small biotech can do it quite late, because they want to have the proof of concept only in male without this study, which makes the development a little bit less expensive. But at the end, it will be a terrible awakening if such a compound would be teratogenic at the end. Therefore, the two organizations are doing a little bit different development plans.
So how does a meeting like this in particular, fit into accessing these types of interesting, innovative biotechs and maybe some academic research?
I think these meetings, these kind of meetings, are absolutely necessary and indispensable. We need them because we have to know our potential partners. And I think the first step in a collaboration is to know each other and to talk to each other. And such a format like this meeting with all these opportunities to come together is perfect for this, definitely. Therefore, we are highly interested to attend those meetings as often as possible.
And so we have this Partnering One system here, which allows you to obviously quickly screen and identify potential partners and then engage with them very efficiently. Do you find that to be the case with a program like that?
This is absolutely the case, but we have to take into account, I think, meetings like this are the starting point of a collaboration. But at the end, a collaboration, if it's signed and if it's implemented, then it has to live. What does it mean? We had collaborations already since decades, big pharma and academic institutions, small biotechs. But in the past, it was often the case that the two partners were separated from each other. Each of them worked out one working package. They had a meeting every 6 months and they exchanged their working packages, and this was a collaboration. This will be not longer the case. What we need in this area is we need common project teams from the beginning. We need, if possible, people working together at the same bench in the daily working. We need exchange of scientists from big pharma to small biotech companies and vice versa. We need perhaps even exchange of technicians. We need mutual sabbaticals. All these things will at the end be the game-winning activities for collaboration.
So from a Sanofi standpoint, what are you doing structurally to more efficiently engage? It takes pharma a long time to get moving. From an average time, perhaps, from initial meeting to getting some kind of collaboration started, maybe 18 months? Maybe longer?
Depends on the collaboration. But we have to be aware that speed is another game-winning activity, because particularly excellent collaboration partners with excellent projects or even with excellent ideas we are not the only one who wants to contact them. There are other companies as well. And at the end, if a collaboration process needs 18 months, I think you can be sure that one of your competitors will be faster. And therefore, I personally think it's important to find these partners rapidly, to take afterwards all departments who are important for such a collaboration, for example, legal regarding intellectual property, etc., in the boat as early as possible. And what is an interesting aspect as well, if you are able to manage a collaboration not always on this big global level, but perhaps on a local level with global impact, then it helps a lot as well. Particularly, you are considerably faster, and speed is an conditio sine qua non.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts today.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Okay.
Take
Thank
care.
you.